Welcome students, parents, staff, and friends of Augusta County to Connecting with Augusta County Schools. I'm Eric Bond, and I proudly serve as your division superintendent. Please join me throughout the year as we take a closer look at our outstanding division and how we strive to serve every child, every day. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our season premiere of Season 4 of Connecting with Augusta County Schools. We are very excited today to be speaking with some friends from Stump Elementary School. First, we have with us Mr. Sean Basca, who is the principal here at Stump Elementary School. So, Mr. Basca, welcome to Connecting with Augusta County Schools.
Appreciate it, Dr. Bond. Always excited to talk about our school and our community and everything that we have that makes Augusta County such a great place to live and work.
Thank you, Mr. Basco. We appreciate that. Obviously, we want to talk to you about lots of exciting things going on here at Stump, but more specifically, there's been a lot of excitement around the Stump community with the arrival of your new playground equipment. So let me just ask you a couple questions about that. First of all, why was this an important and exciting purchase for the school community here in Stump?
I think first and foremost, it's been such a long process getting to this point of having the playground built. I've been here 7 years now, and I'm wanting to say that this process started roughly 10 years ago, trying to raise money through our PTA to raise as much funds as we could so we could purchase the playground. Over the course of that time, the playgrounds that we had, though unique, that they were wooden structures and offered a lot of opportunities that maybe newer playgrounds do not have, the upkeep on those playgrounds became a big burden, a lot for the county to try to keep up with. They were constantly trying to replace pieces. They would come in and have to remove pieces. And what happened over the last few years is that you could not find parts to replace anything. So as pieces would break and wear out over time, they were just taken down and nothing was left. Basically, the playground that we have is kind of a shell of what it was to begin with. So our kids, though they had something to climb up on and walk on, it did not give them the opportunities that maybe some of the other schools had with their newer playgrounds. As our school has grown to the size that it is now, the need for the playground grew along with it. And I think the other thing that makes this very exciting is that our school, our community, our playground really is a community playground. From the time school is out at 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock at night, is nothing to drive by here and see lots of kids, parents out here having picnics, letting their kids play, using the track area. So it really is a community thing, and I think those two things are what we're most excited about.
I think there's a lot to be said, the fact that this is a community investment, that it's not only been utilized during the school hours in the school week, but it's also after hours as well as a recreational place for our citizens to go here in the Stuarts Draft community. So I'm not sure a lot of our listeners truly understand the cost associated with new playground equipment. It is a huge investment when you go to replace old playgrounds with new playground equipment, especially putting things up to code and so forth and so on. So can you just walk our listeners through what the process was like for you as a building level principal going through the purchase of this new equipment?
Absolutely. I would say this is a third school that I've been in who have built new playgrounds or replaced playgrounds. So the process has actually changed a good bit from the previous two that I was a part of. So it's kind of a new learning experience for me again as well. First off, it starts with having people, a PTA, a Parent Teacher Association, who is willing to help raise funds for the playground. And that's really where it all started. There was a vision there. We sent out questionnaires to families, to students, trying to see what they would like in a playground. And overwhelmingly, while people liked, again, the uniqueness of the wooden structure, they all knew it was time to replace it, if nothing else for safety reasons. With that said, what we found out as we got going was that we needed to, as we raised money, we tried to reach out to different organizations around the community to try to garner support there, see if they could help us financially. And some of them were able to step up. Others, they did what they could. A lot of people were going through difficult times when we actually started this process 10 years ago. So we're very thankful to everyone who did pitch in and help. But really, I'd say it took off over the last year. We were able to raise significant amount of funds a couple years ago, which helped a lot. Then as we started the process, we got in touch with our local school board members, and actually reached out to Augusta County Parks and Rec and talked to Andy Wells there, and he kind of filled us in on the new process for what this looks like, which started with talking to our school board and sharing with them what our vision was and getting approval from them to go to the board of supervisors to try to procure the funds that Parks and Rec used to supply. So we did that. We talked to the school board. From there, some of the school board members and ourselves, we were able to reach out and talk to some of the board of supervisors member, and really became a community, a team effort to finish what had been started. So our school board appreciatively pitched in. I believe it was up to $10,000 to help with the playground at that point. And again, with the help then of going to our board of supervisors, they overwhelmingly decided to help support the remainder of what was required of the playground, which ended up being about $30,000 more. And overall, just like everything else, the price of everything equipment has gone up. So over the course of raising funds, it kept going up. So thankful to get it done.
Well, I mean, I think it speaks volumes for the community we live in. One, you have very engaged and supportive parents. And two, I think we're just so fortunate here in Augusta County to have such a supportive school board and board of supervisors, and that they were willing to pitch in and collaborate to make this project come to fruition sooner than later. So a big thank you to all those folks, all those stakeholders that were in part of making this project come to a reality. And it really not only benefits our students here at Stump, but benefits the Stuarts Jeff community as a whole. So thank you so much for all those folks. So obviously, there's been a lot of reaction with the new playground, and I know you did a ribbon cutting ceremony that was well attended. So just tell our listeners a little bit about what the reaction from your students have been since the new equipment got here, and what, in your estimation, what they're most excited about with the new playground.
Yeah, so I think once they realized it was going to happen, the excitement began. Then when school started, when they showed up and the previous playground structures were not here, it was removed, and we had a blank slate out there. I think the anticipation even increased at that point. Then they started building it, so the kids were still going outside and walking the track or playing on another piece of equipment, so they were able to see each day they went out, it was getting built a little bit more and a little bit more, and the company did a great job. They finished it in about a week's time. The hardest thing was keeping them off of it when it was done. We had to wrap it up in tape to make sure that they knew to stay off of it until it passed the final inspection. But that Monday morning after the weekend, when I was able to make the announcement that the new playground is good to go, I think from that moment on for the entire week, I think there was students on that thing the entire time. So I think this thing just offers anything for the younger age group of kids all the way up to 12. I think that's something we did a great job of choosing something that all kids are able to play on. There are other pieces of equipment around the playground that students who aren't able to maybe access the bigger equipment still have something to do so that they can be with their peers. So it is an inclusive kind of a playground. And I just think that, watching them out there as opposed to previously watching recess, not seeing many upper grade kids on the playground. They were on the blacktop, they were out in the field, they were at the track area, and looking out there now and seeing them all spread out and seeing them utilizing the equipment as well, I know for me has been very exciting. So I just think that there's something for everyone out there, and that is again a testament to the one that we chose there and the ability, because of everyone chipping in, being able to purchase that piece of equipment that maybe we would not have been able to do otherwise.
So you may have touched on this a little bit, but I just want to reemphasize a question or get your thoughts on something. Obviously, it's been very rewarding and meaningful for you as principal and for this community, but what has been probably the most rewarding and meaningful part of this whole process?
I think anytime that you are doing something where you're investing in children, in order for it to be the most successful it can possibly be is when you have everyone involved. And because we had students involved, we had parents involved, we had the community involved, school board was involved, our board of supervisors was involved in all of this. It really allowed the kids to see that everyone does support them. Everyone understands how important it is that they have the same opportunities that other kids have. But also, as we talk about a sense of community and what that is, we talk about that, and sometimes it's hard for kids to understand it. And I think the kids here at Stump Elementary over the last couple of years got to see that work to perfection when a community came together and created something for them. I just think that that's one of those learning opportunities that you can't get otherwise.
And I think that's a really important part. When we talk with stakeholders, we don't want to leave out the students, because the students were a part of this process. And we're going to have the opportunity here in a few minutes to talk to a couple of your students that were involved in some of that process. And so, again, I'd like to reiterate how important that was as part of this partnership, that our students were part of the process. So we certainly appreciate their efforts there as well. Anything else, Mr. Baskey, you'd like to share with us about this outstanding project? And certainly thank you for your leadership on going through this, but anything else you want to share?
I think I'll just end it the way I started. Thank you to everyone who made this happen, parent teacher association, people who are still in the PTA and some that are no longer there. I told kids years ago when we started this process, you may not be able to use it, but your kids may be able to, or your siblings may be able to. So, to see it work out and for them to hopefully come back and look and realize they had something to do with that's extremely important. So thank you to everyone who supported this, and thank you to Augusta County Schools for giving us the opportunity to gloat on our school for a little bit in our community.
Absolutely. And certainly, as superintendent, I want to thank you for your leadership in seeing this project through, and certainly your leadership every day here at Stump Elementary School. As I mentioned earlier, we got two more special guests that we're going to talk to. But Mr. Baskla, thank you again, and appreciate you being on the show today. We are very excited for our next guest to join us here on Connecting with Augusta County Schools. We have two outstanding students that are going to talk to us a little bit about their new playground. With us today, we have Audrey Baska, who is a fifth grader here at Stump Elementary, and we have Charlie Brevard, who is a fourth grader here at Stump Elementary School. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Connecting with Augusta County Schools.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. So we have just a couple questions for you. I'd like to get your insight on the new playground. Many people in your school and your community help come together to raise a lot of money for the new playground and to play on during recess. So, Audrey, we'll start with you. Do you think recess is an important part of your day here at school? And if so, why?
Yes, and it is important for all ages, especially being active during the day. Also, kindergarten through first are still younger, so they don't want to sit for very long. They have centers, but also they can't run around during centers or anything. But I can remember in kindergarten, recess was really important, and I made some great memories. For the older grades, I asked some kids some questions, and they all agreed that it was a socializing time or that it was a brain break. But also, when you get older, there are less activities, so recess is an important part of the day.
Wow, thank you, Audrey. Appreciate that perspective. Charlie, what do you think? Do you think recess is an important part of the day here at Stump Elementary?
I do. It's fun because you get a break from all your schoolwork and you get to run around and get fresh air and get exercise.
Wow, fresh air and exercise, that's incredibly important in it. Well, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that perspective. Audrey, going back in time a little bit, you did have the opportunity and you went and spoke with the Augusta County Board of Supervisors about helping to give money for your new playground equipment. Why is that something that you wanted to do as a fifth grader here?
When my mom got home from a PTA meeting, I overheard her talking to my dad about another playground fundraiser my school had been fundraising for a while. She said that they were going to write letters to the Board of Supervisors, and I told her I would write one and read it if I needed to. I'd always wanted to give a speech, so I got really excited about it. I started doing some research and asking people questions at school to use for my speech. I learned more about it and found out that some kids are in college that had started fundraising for it. And to me, that seemed like a long time, so I started wanting to do it more and more. And it just seemed like the right thing to do as a student and as a student council vice president. I also never been someone who was afraid to speak in front of people and share my opinion, and I had been wanting to use my voice to help other people. I've always felt it is important to speak up when you need to.
Wow, thank you. And that was a brave thing to do and a very responsible thing to do, to speak on behalf of your fellow classmates here at Stump and go to our governing body, the Board of Supervisors, to advocate for funding for the school board. So I know your classmates certainly appreciate you doing that, and as do we. And again, a special shout out and thank you to the Augusta County Board of Supervisors as well as the school board for their assistance and help and support with getting as you put it, our playground up sooner than later. Instead of waiting longer, and some of our students now are in high school that started this process, we were able to expedite that and get it done pretty quickly. So very good. We appreciate that. So, Charlie, what's new and different about your new playground equipment?
The spider web, that's really fun.
Wow, the spider web. Explain to our listeners what a spider web is. Can you do that?
Yeah, it's like a pole and there's these ropes that go around it and there's they're look all tangled up, but you can climb up it and it's really fun.
So that's one of the more popular pieces of equipment that you and your classmates enjoy?
Yeah, there's always like people that are crowded add it and stuff.
Okay, that's outstanding. Audrey, what about you? What is new and different about the new playground equipment in your estimation?
Yeah, it's safer and more things to do.
Okay. Audrey, do you have a favorite piece of equipment?
Yeah, there's like a balance rope, and it's really fun and challenging.
Challenging? Yeah. Do you have good balance?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie, what about you? Do you have good balance? Do you like the balance rope as well?
Yeah, that's fun. I like to climb up it.
Okay. What about Charlie? Is there anything else other than the spider web that you like about the new playground?
I like that it's higher up and there is 3 slides and that it's like bigger and it's got that thing that you can twist around on.
Okay. Fun. Now, your old playground was a wooden structure, right? Your new playground, we got rid of the wooden structure and it's all metal and plastic. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's metal and plastic.
Makes it a lot better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. If you had to pick 2 words to describe the new playground equipment, what 2 words would you use to describe our new playground equipment?
I would use fun and colorful.
Fun and colorful. Oh, yeah, outstanding. Audrey, what about you? What 2 words would you use to describe your new playground?
I think it's safer and updated.
Definitely safer for sure. Well, thank you too. I appreciate all your hard work as students here at Stump. I hear wonderful things about you and what you're doing here at school. So keep up the good work and keep reading. And thank you again for advocating and speaking on behalf of Stump Elementary School. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again to all of our listeners for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates on our latest episodes. Our episodes can always be found on Augusta County Schools' Facebook page and website.